Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Wednesday. It is the 8th day of February 2023. I hope you're safe and healthy today, and I hope your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field who, along with the first responders, are out here every day trying to save and saving human lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage for us, the menial task of keeping streets and sidewalks and parks, highways clean and disease-free. Blessings also upon those that do the humble work of making deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women who are out here doing the heroic work of delivering, saving, and recovering the teenagers and the children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery, prostitution, and child prostitution. Just the other day in California, they found a missing 14-year-old girl in the home of a convicted sex offender in a regular middle-class neighborhood, and nobody knew she was there. But the police knew she was missing from Arizona, and they found her in California. Please watch your children. Please be careful, especially if you're a smaller adult even, and they mistake you for a teenager. They will try to snatch you, especially you sisters out there. Be careful, you ladies. There's nobody that's immune to this. This is happening in every neighborhood, in every place. Watch your back. Be safe. All right. There was a basketball game last night, and I was blessed to attend with my brothers, Iman Prakash and my man, Organic Nick. And the Knicks won 102-98. And the Knicks are an exciting team to watch because every game, they played 9 overtime games, as I mentioned before, this season, and they're always grinding, they're always in the game. And so the thing is that we must understand as the NBA, is that the NBA is probably has more parity right now than at any time in the history of the NBA that I can recall. When I mean parity, there are teams that rise to the top, like the Boston Celtics in the East, and Denver right now in the West. But for the most part, the teams are evenly matched. Okay, so the coaching is at high levels. The scouting is at high levels. The technology for scouting, for coaching, for development, for recovery from injuries, everything is at much higher levels right now in the NBA than it ever was. And then, of course, you have the system whereby the worst teams get to pick the highest draft picks, and you combine that with the improvements in scouting, with the improvements in coaching and in assistant coaching and videos and all of that. And so you get all the teams are tightly bunched together in terms of talent. And so the thing that separates teams is a couple of things that separates teams. Number one, stable organizations separate teams. Teams that keep hiring and firing coaches, like the Knicks were doing. Teams that keep hiring and firing front offices, they're unstable. They really have a hard road to hoe when they're trying to get to the other rest of the teams because of that. Teams have a stable organization, good, which includes, of course, good scouting, which includes, of course, management, as we mentioned. When it comes to the players, all the players are now good. You're getting a lot of really good players now, even in the second round, and sometimes even undrafted players are making a difference on NBA teams because the talent pool the difference in talent is very small now. So what separates the players are the players that don't sabotage themselves. Okay, and players do sabotage themselves. Sometimes you give a brother a lot of money and he don't know how to act, and all of a sudden he unfortunately sabotages himself. Gambling, whores, drugs, wine, whatever it is, they end up messing themselves up, and it negates the talent that they have. Then there's those that just don't want to work as hard. They're glad to get that NBA paycheck, and they're not really trying to push any further, and then that causes that. But then again, majority of players, though, they're trying to be the best that they can be. They're working very hard, and so that there's more of that than anything else right now. So execution, and again, it boils down to usually a basketball game in the NBA, a couple of possessions. It boils down to a couple of possessions, a streak, a run. Execution, especially trying to get a key stop at the key time, trying to get a basket at the time when you need one. This these things separate the men from the boys because the parity, everything is so evenly matched today. So that's why the younger teams don't win as much as a more experienced team because they're not used to several things. They're not used to the speed of the game. They're not used to the NBA grind, 82-game grind. And then it comes down to those couple of possessions, the execution that you need to have at the end of a game, the stop that you need to get, the basket that you have to have to make a difference, or to kill a run, to continue a run, to put the nail in the coffin, so on and so forth. The championship teams get stops when they need the stops, and they get baskets at times when they need the baskets. That separates everything in the NBA. And so, you get a team like the Boston Celtics, and again, the superstar is what you want. Usually the superstar is that guy that will get you that basket when you need it. Okay? Defense is a team thing. But when it comes to bucket getting, sometimes you need that guy that can get you that bucket at that time when you need it, at that critical point. Okay? So the Boston Celtics, they have such a guy in Jason Tatum. They have such a guy in Jaylen Brown. Then they have the ancillary guys that also can get, when you put double teams on their key guys, they have the ancillary guys that can help you, and that's why they got a Marcus Smart, they got Al Horford, they went and got a Derek White, they got a Malcolm Brogdon. These are ancillary guys. They wouldn't be able to carry the team without Tatum and Brown. But when Tatum and Brown, so much focuses on them, they can do their thing and get big stops, big shots down the stretch. And so that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to build your team up so that you get a team of, I say you're Batman and Robin, right? Batman's the main guy, the superstar. Robin's the sidekick. And you build it up till you got some Robins and you try to get a Batman, okay, to get you over the top. In the Celtics case, and I'm using them as an example because they're the number one team in the Eastern Conference. Celtics case, they drafted Batman and developed him. That's Jason Tatum, okay? And then Batman 1A or Robin is Jaylen Brown. They drafted him out of California and developed him. They drafted Marcus Smart, who's a Robin, and developed him. And then you got Marcus Smart, and then you got Robert Williams III. You got Al Horford, defensive first dudes, because you need stops. You can get all the scoring you want. If you can't get stops, you're not going to win. Okay? So that's what you need. Now, right now, the Knicks playing the Magic, the Knicks are at the point now where we got a bunch of Robins. Okay? Julius Randle's a Robin. He's trying to be Batman, but he's still a Robin right now. He's trying to be he's Robin. We got him. We got Quentin Grimes, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's close to being Batman at the close of a game, but really he's a Robin. And then you got a bunch of guys. You got defensive guys: Miles McBride, Emmanuel Quickley, Jericho Sims, Mitch Robb. You got Grimes. You got all these young dudes that you're developing, you drafted, and they're developing nicely. So the next step is to continue to develop these guys and to see if you can get a Batman. Okay, that's why when I mentioned that if Kevin Durant wants a trade, you're going to get 29 calls. The Nets are going to get calls from 29 teams, multiple calls about Kevin Durant because he is Batman. Okay, and he will take your team from missing Batman to get you to that next level because he can get a bucket anytime he wants. In crunch time, he's shown it, and that's why a guy like that is valuable. I'm just using him as an example, but he can get a basket in the playoffs, in Game 7, with 30 seconds left. You need a basket. Kevin Durant, everybody in the world can know he's going to get the ball. He's still going to score, okay? That's what you want when you're ready. The Knicks are almost at that point right now. Orlando, on the other hand, they haven't gotten there, but they're on their way. They were a young team that's still now at the point right now where the Magic are. They're going to go as far as Paolo Banchero can carry them because they got everything else. The other guys that they have on their team, the Jalen Suggses, the Markelle Fultz, the Jonathan Isaac, the Wendell Carters, those guys are now used to the grind of the NBA, right? They're used to the 82-game grind. They're used to the speed of the game. The Franz Wagners, Cole Anthonys, they're young and they're just getting used to the grind. The next step is to execute down the stretch, and you need a Batman. I believe they have Batman. That's Paolo Banchero. That's why I say as quick as he develops and as far as he can take them, that's how far they're going to go. Because this kid, I knew he was the real deal coming out of Duke, but seeing him in person, he's the deal, man. He really is. He's everything I thought he was and more. Last night, he made guys like that make difficult plays look easy. Okay, and that's what he does. He makes difficult plays look easy. And Markelle Fultz, people sleeping on him, but he was the number one pick coming out of Washington State for a reason. Okay, he had some issues in Philly. Obviously, we know all about that. Then he had a knee issue. He had a knee ACL issue when he came to Orlando. So he's been set back a little bit, but he looks healthy now. And last night, if Thibodeau didn't make the adjustments he needed to make, we'd have lost that game because there was no way, I mean zero, that Brunson could guard him. Brunson could not guard him. And he knew it, and they were taking advantage of it. So we'll talk about that in a second. But between Fultz and Banchero, they're in good hands. They're like Allstate. They're in good hands, man. Because Banchero, I'd give him maybe a year and a half, maybe another year, and then the start of his third season, and it's going to be, they're going to be playoff team. They're going to be lights out. They really are, because he is that good. Last night, how many did he have? He had 16. But the Knicks defense, Tom Thibodeau had them playing some D last night. And this is the thing. Deuce didn't have a good game. Deuce, even in his bad game, he still played defense. Okay, but he didn't really have the greatest of games. Wasn't in a rhythm last night. He only took 2 shots. Okay, he was -7. But he still played tough defense. Matter of fact, Cole Anthony started trying to go off, and then he caught the Deuce card, and that was the end of that, right? And so you're gonna get that from Deuce, and that's what I'm saying. And even in the worst of his games, you're gonna get locked down defense, and you need that. But what happened last night? In the key crunch time, Orlando needed stops. Julius Randle, he wouldn't let it happen. And then RJ, who played terribly offensively last night. At the end of the game, this is the thing about RJ Barrett, though. You know, he's frustrating to watch. Last night, every my friends, I was frustrated watching him. And he's frustrating to watch. But at the close of a game, this boy consistently hits big baskets, man. I don't know what it is. Last 2 minutes of a game. And last night he was 3 of 8 from the 3-point line, but 2 of those threes came in that last 2 minutes. Okay? And when the Knicks needed him. And that's what you need. If you're going to continue to develop and win as an NBA franchise, you need that guy. You need a guy like a Randall. The Knicks needed a rebound. Okay? There was a 4-point game. No, it was a 3-point game. There was less than 7 seconds less, I want to say. 8-10 seconds, somewhere in that vicinity. Banchero was on the foul line, and he hit the first one. And they wanted to get the second one so they can tie it. It was a 3-point one. If he hit 2 free throws, they'd still be down 1. So he missed on purpose. They put all their rebounds in. They put Bo Bowl in there. They put Jonathan Isaac in there. They had Wendell Carter. They had all their height there. And Julius Randle got that rebound. He threw that ball up against, and Julius Randle, like a grown man among boys, snatched that rebound. That kind of thing is what you want in the end of a game. Okay? That's the difference between winning and losing. Okay? He did a lot of bonehead plays yesterday. Got to see him live and direct do him. Jump in the air, in the middle of the air, spin in the lane, throw the ball, whoever. But end of the day, 7 of 15 from the field. 4 of 10 from the 3-point line. 4 of 6 from the line. 14 boards, 6 assists, 22 points plus 9. That's what you get at the end of the day. And the W. Okay? So, but that rebound at the end was huge. Okay? Huge. So, that's kind of thing. That's the difference between an Orlando Magic team and a team like the Knicks that's on the way up. But the Magic, don't make no mistake. They're going to be good, man. And they got, right now, they don't need to acquire any more talent. They got the talent. They just need to develop it. Franz Wagner is the real deal. I was sleeping on him coming out of Michigan. I didn't think he was going to be that good. And I admit, I just didn't. But he really could play. The boy could play. And so he had 18 last night. But again, it's come down to execution at the end of a game. They're not used to that. They didn't get the stops when they need them because they're young, right? So they just need to develop. They just need to develop. But the Knicks, on the other hand, are more mature in that regard. Get the stops when they need them, got to execute. And that's why you see them in every game, and at the end of the game, they got a chance to win because of things like that. Jericho Sims was his old self last night. I mean, 8 points, 9 boards, and again, it was the fourth quarter. I can't remember. There was definitely less than 2 minutes left in the game, put it that way. And the Knicks had the basketball, and they missed the shot. They get the offensive rebound. Missed another shot, get the offensive rebound. And then missed another shot. There was a scramble for the ball. It was Jericho Sims. I don't know if it was Paolo Banchero or or Wendell Carter, one of them, and Jericho Sims. He snatched him, the dude, and the ball, jumped up with them, slammed it. That's a grown man's rebound. That's the kind of thing when you basketball games. Okay? Those type of stuff. And then there was Brunson. See, this is the thing about Brunson. Y'all know I've been critical of him for not distributing the basketball. But last night, the Knicks had 21 assists. Not the greatest, but he's trying now. He's really getting his teammates involved. He ended up with 25. But the thing about Brunson that caused me to say, okay, the Knicks should sign him, was I mentioned the playoff games last year. Well, because at the end of a game, he's lethal, man. Lethal. At the end of a game, he's the assassin. And so he came down, couple of key three-pointers, and then when they started keying on him, alley-oop to Sims. Yeah. The Knicks are up and coming, man. We're just Batman away from contending for the Eastern Conference Finals. We don't have Batman right now, but we're just Batman away. And some of y'all, like with Kevin Durant, for example, you can't give away everybody and think you're going to contend just because you got Kevin Durant. You got to keep most of your cupboard. See? So you give them a couple of key pieces and a lot of picks. Because somebody that's going to trade, like if the Nets are going to trade Kevin Durant, they're starting over. Okay? And they're trying to rebuild. So what you want when you're rebuilding? Young talent and draft capital. That's what you want. And to create money, cash space. And so that's what they will be doing. So you don't give everybody away to try to get them. Everybody's available, but you don't give them everybody. See? So you say, okay, which two of these guys you want? Barrett and Obi, what you want? And you get them 2 or 3 of your guys, and then you give them draft capital. That's how you do it. Okay? That way you still have a team. But that's what the Nets messed up on. They traded everybody and got rid of everybody to get Durant and Irving. But then they basically cleaned out their team and had to start over. Okay? You don't want to do that. You don't want to do it that way. Okay? So we are right there. We are right there. So the Nets, speaking of the Nets, they about to make a move. My man Organic Nick, we were talking because we were talking yesterday, and we mentioned, you saw that the Nets basically gave away Kessler Edwards yesterday. I mean, they gave him away. They traded him for draft rights to a dude that's in Europe that never played. Why would they do that? They cleared $8 million in cap space, just like that. See, they cleared that $8 million in cap space. I have a feeling they're getting ready to do some more business. They're getting ready to do some more business. They send him to the Kings. They're getting ready to do some more business because I think they're going to make a move. My guess is the Nets are going to try to acquire Fred VanVleet. They just lost Kyrie Irving. They're going to try to get Fred VanVleet. I think they're going to do that because, they're clearing space right now. They're trying to convince Kevin Durant to stay with their team. They're trying to convince Kevin Durant to stay on their team. And that's why they're trying to clear space to get another guy in there. And Fred VanVleet would fit very well there. So I think they're trying to get VanVleet. Some people think it's going to be Siakam or OG, and it could be. But I think they're probably trying to get VanVleet because VanVleet didn't sign his extension either. So I can see them trying to get him and trying to pair him with a Kevin Durant to try to make a run now. And actually, that might be more dangerous than Kyrie, Fred VanVleet with Kevin Durant. So I think they're getting ready to make a move. You're going to probably see them release some more guys today or do something to try to clear more cap space so that they can make a move. The guys that they just got from Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if they moved one of those guys like a Dorian Finney-Smith or somebody for the salary to try to get a Fred VanVleet. So we're going to see some more. So they're making moves to try to keep Durant. And they might. See, that's what I'm saying. So Durant might ask for a trade this summer or he might not. It's really going to depend on how they perform coming down the stretch here. The Nets, that is. So that's why I mentioned it, because if they get knocked out in the first round, then he's probably going to ask for a trade. Okay. And so that's when he'll be available. So we got to see what happens in the summer. The summer is going to be very important for us. This trade deadline is not that important for us to make any major moves right now. I don't mind a minor move like a Alex Caruso. I'm very against the move for OG Anunoby because I don't want to lose Obi Toppin. If you're going to trade an Obi, I'd rather be going after a guy like a Durant or some other superstar, an Embiid, a Booker, somebody that's going to be a superstar that's going to get you what we're talking about. Somebody that's going to come in and you're going to surround Batman with Robins, and you can go ahead and do this. But not for a guy that's, I'm not saying OG Anunoby wouldn't make us better. Even if you traded Obi Toppin, he probably would make us better. But I really would rather wait on that. So we'll see what they do. But I trust the Don. He's not going to make a bad deal. He's going to do the right thing. So he's going to do what's good for the Knicks and to help us win. Speaking of that, I didn't mention again. So last night, Markelle Fultz was killing Brunson. Killing him. Okay, Brunson, he's a lethal dude offensively, no doubt. But he can't guard a guy like Markelle Fultz. And Markelle Fultz was scoring that well. What time did we do? Time out. Took Brunson out. He sick Grimes on him. Game over. Then it was as simple as that. He put Grimes on him. Grimes put the lockdown on him. And so now Fultz couldn't score. So he's looking for Franz Wagner. Lockdown. It was over. It was over. That's how the Knicks won the game. Because they got the key stops at that point by making that adjustment. Okay? Then he brought Brunson back in. He subbed out somebody. I think he put Grimes out, or he kept somebody else in, but he brought Brunson back in. After they got a couple of stops, and then finished the game. And Tom Thibodeau don't make no adjustments, right? Okay. Anyway, that was the key of the game yesterday. So now, tonight, very big tonight, Indiana is visiting Miami tonight. Why is that key for the Knicks? Because Miami and the Knicks are in a virtual tie for the 6th seed. Miami is 1/100th of a point ahead of the Knicks right now. 1/100th of a point ahead of the Knicks, right? In the East. So it's a virtual tie for the 6th seed. If Miami loses to Indiana tonight, actually I said 1/100. No, it's 1/1000th of a point. Right, 5.536 versus 0.537. That's the Knicks and the Miami Heat right now. And so the Knicks are 30-26. Miami is 29-25. So if the Miami Heat lose to Indiana tonight, and I'm going to be rooting for Indiana tonight, then the Knicks are sole possession of 6th seed. Okay. And so it's going to be a dogfight all the way through. And every time we can occupy that space, I want us to do so, especially at the end of the season. So right now, tonight at 7:30, I think it's going to be on League Pass. Miami plays Indiana in Miami. And so let's hope Indiana comes up with this victory, y'all, so that we can get this 6th seed. But that's what's going on tonight. The Knicks' next game is against Philadelphia in Philly. One thing I'm confident of, the Knicks are going to be fighting, scratching, clawing, battling every game, including that one. And so I can't predict a win. I'm glad it's not an MSG, especially on Friday night. It's in Philly. But the Knicks are going to fight, battle, claw. Randall's going to give you 20 and 10. He's going to be yelling at the refs. That's our problem child, but this is what he is. Brunson's going to be in the lane trying to score. Okay? We hope Grimes is on. We hope Deuce comes up big. Okay? IQ played good yesterday too. 18 points. Very, very back to his old self. Okay? I thought he was a little step slow. I think everybody was dealing with that flu. But he was back to his old self yesterday. Hitting big. I think he hit 4 3-pointers yesterday. IQ was getting hammered. And I'm telling you, not even as a Knicks fan, just watching it, those refs sucked yesterday. I mean, IQ, Obi, Randall, they were getting beat down and no call. But phantom calls against us, it was crazy. And I'm glad Knicks Nation was in big time representation. You know, one of my brothers called it the Orlando Square Garden because even though we was in Orlando, it was mostly Knicks fans there yesterday. And we was loud. And so it was good to see, man. Knicks Nation was represented. And they let them refs have it as they should, man. I mean, damn, it's crazy. And it was 2 of the 3 was veteran refs. Veteran refs. And one of them was a young dude that I don't know what it is, if somebody messed with his little cousin or something, because he always is against the Knicks when he refs. I think his name is Ford. I don't want to see him again. But I have a feeling they're going to send him to more of our games. But anyway, key things yesterday, Brunson, big shots down the stretch. Jericho, Sims, and Randall, big rebounds down the stretch. Grimes, big defensive stops down the stretch. Brethren, we doing good. We got a whole bunch of Robins. We just need Batman right now. But, hey, we doing good. We're doing good. So, let's go. Let's go. Next game, Philadelphia on Friday. Tonight, Indiana at Miami. Let's see if they can pull out a win, get the Knicks in the 6th seed. Shalom.